Imagine walking into your boss and telling them that I quit. Then going home and telling your pregnant girlfriend that you got to move out of the flat that you're in. Telling her that you're going to start your own business in the real estate industry. That's exactly what my next guest did. Then sitting down and handwriting 50 letters to top business people in Scotland. Hi, I'm John from Live at the Hive. Let's get stuck in. G'day, David. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great, John. How's yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks so much for joining us today on Live at the Hive to answer a few questions about your business. I've been looking forward to chatting to you about this, and you're our first real estate person to come on the show, so I'm quite excited about that as well. I'm probably going to pick your brain afterwards about the market. So yeah, let's get stuck straight in. I'd love to hear about your story and about David.
Brilliant. Well, first of all, thanks for the intro, John, and it's great to be a part of what you're doing, the Live at the Hive. You told me about it. I've been telling everybody, and I love the idea, so it'd be great, and I'll keep tuned in as well. So my story, I suppose the last chapter, what I'm in now in my life, started when I decided to start my own business. So I was, at the time, I think it was like 5 years ago, I think, and up to that time, I was working in a call centre. I had that job, I was in there for 6 or 7 years in this call centre. Something that a lot of people don't know, up until I got that job, I had 27 jobs at the age of 16, right? And that was down to me just not liking doing the type of work that I was doing. I was always good at jobs, but there was always something, and it took me until one day when I was sitting in the call centre. I enjoyed that job, but I realised I do not want to work for somebody. I want to carve out my own future. I want to be in charge of where my life's going. I've seen a lot of redundancies happening at the time, and I just thought, am I going to be 40 or 50 and have to sit and worry about this stuff? So I had a talk with my manager, and I said I'm going home. And I went home to my pregnant fiance at the time. We were living in a flat. It was an expensive flat. I was having to do a lot of overtime just to cover the rent. So I was working at least 70 hours a week, every week. So financially, we were all right, but we were paying more than what we were paying out, more than what we were making. That was a burden. And this is when I decided to say to my pregnant fiance, just quit my job and I'm going to start my own business, but I don't know what I'm going to do. We might be broke for a wee while till I figure this out, but once I get a plan, it'll be sorted. Maybe take me a year to really get on my feet with what I'm doing, I think. And she said, not a problem, that's fine, I'll stay in a caravan, I don't care, but wherever we're going, sounds exciting. So that gave me the kind of confidence and everything. So the next day, I think it was, I sat down and I thought, right, I don't know the first thing about business. I looked at some ideas online, and at the time, stuff like crypto was getting chucked down your throat online, and affiliate marketing, all those types of things. I thought, right, no, that's not it. So I Googled some old Sunday Times rich lists, and I filtered out the Scottish guys. And I tried to find as many publications of rich lists in Scotland. I would do research on everybody, and I looked at who built a company from nothing to something. Who was it that decided to do what I've just did and start their own business? And I got a list of about 50 people. And I wrote 50 letters. They were all different because I thought, if these guys are talking to each other, and my name comes up ever, it's not just a carbon copy. So yeah. I made sure that every letter was specifically speaking to them for what they had done. So I just mentioned that I loved their story, I loved hearing about how they'd created what they'd created, and I asked for about 15 minutes of their time to pick their brains and just get any advice that they can give to a young guy starting out in business. Out of the 50, quite a few get back to me. And I was quite excited when a few of the guys phoned me directly and says, come into my office, sit down, and some of them became mentors. One guy I'll mention who was amazing with me was Boyd Turnock, who owns Turnock's in Uddingston. So he had me into his office. He said it was a one-off. Come in, I'll give you half an hour. And after I spoke with him, he says, right, come back. I want you back every week and I want to see how you're doing.
Wow.
At the time, I didn't realise it, but he was making himself my accountability partner. He was saying, is this boy going to really do what he's saying he's going to do? And it was just, the advice he was giving me was about giving me people and everything. It was fantastic. I also had some other business guys at the time who were just saying, right, these are the mistakes I've made. And that's what I was really looking for. They showed me what I really needed to be asking and where I needed to be looking in business to find out. At the time, I was want to really think into something, but I didn't have anything. And I came across a guy online who was talking about buying businesses. To me, that idea was just so far above my thinking at the time. Luckily for me, a lot of stuff he talked about was mindset.
Right.
And I realised that I had ambition, I had belief, but my mindset was all wrong about the day to day. I did believe I was going to achieve what I was wanting, but how I was dealing with people, how I was looking at situations, how I was seeing problems, how I was approaching stuff was completely wrong. So I spent, well, I've been doing it since really, it's not a time I've stopped. I just dived straight into the mindset aspect of it and decided, okay, my dream that I really want to do for business, it's in the future. I'm not going to try and jump ahead and do it. And I got into something that had the same skills as buying businesses, and it was buying property and investing in property. So I went to somebody that's teaching how to invest in property, and I learned that. So I've been in the investor developer side for 4 or 5 years, sometimes full time, and I've jumped out and then back in. But since then, I've not got anywhere near where I want to get yet. But I've got my business, and now it's going well, and this is how I ended up where I am now. So I'm still in property. I got a love for it, and I just want to leave it, to be honest.
David, that is mental that you had that idea to sit down and write to 50 of the top business people. I mean, that just makes, like, when you say that, it actually makes perfect sense, to go and speak to these people. And that's part of the reason we're running this program is to get bits of information, little nuggets from people, little diamonds that we can use in our own business. But that having that initiative and to do that yourself, and like you said, and handwriting as well. Well done. And that's so good that, there was a few of them there that decided to help you and get you on your journey. Hats off, mate.
John, well, part of that, the bit where people maybe not think of was, see even the money for the stamps for their letters had to come out of something I was already paying. So it wasn't. That's how bad it was really at the time, where it was like, I'm going to be a month behind on my phone bill just to go and pay for these 50 stamps. You know what I mean? So at the time there was a lot of sacrifice and a lot of risk at the time, even just to send the letters out themselves. So that gave me my first taste of, all right, okay, this is risk. What you're going to do with your money and your time. So
yeah. So within your business now, so you've got your real estate business that you're running, and that seems like it's really successful and it's doing really well for you. Do you have a proud moment within that business, like since you've been building it up, and that's been going for 5 years? Is that right?
Well, I was doing developing and investing for 5 years, right? So my real estate business, where I take the role on as the estate agency, has only been going since October, November.
Yeah.
So it's pretty new there. The reason I started it was because I was working on the investor side. I just did not like how agents were doing things really. So that really motivated me to say, right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it different. But I've had all of my proud moments come from the clients. So it's not because I'm out doing big things or anything great or anything like that. It's just what I'm doing and the feedback I get from my clients. The proudest moment that really sticks with me is when one of my clients basically summed up for me what I was trying to do, and I didn't even know it. He said, "You made me feel like I'm your only client." And then somebody else said it, who was a buyer, who wasn't even really my client, they were a buyer. And I thought, that's it. That was probably the proudest moment I've got, just hearing certain feedback and how I've helped people do what I'm doing. That's my proudest moment, really. Really happy with that.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's nice when, with my business with Slate Productions, people don't realize they automatically get a discount when they give you a compliment. It's like, oh, this is the greatest, film, or this is, I'm really happy with this. But it's such a nice thing, isn't it? When you get that feedback about your business, it makes you proud, especially for something that you've built and you've taken, the time to make it what it is. During COVID, have you had struggles in the real estate industry, or has it been quite good, or has people been buying, selling?
I have to say with that, right? No, I've not had struggles. I've had to adapt a few things, right? Things have changed from for the agents I've been operating before COVID. I started my business during this, so I've went straight in. I've seen what troubles and challenges businesses have faced because of COVID. Like, for instance, my fiance, she runs an online business. Our products get manufactured in Europe. That stopped. I've seen firsthand, right, this is what our problem is during COVID. Me having to switch to virtual viewings or virtual valuations, I wouldn't call it a challenge. It's just about, okay, what do people need right now? And then giving it to them. I've been very, very fortunate. One of the only industries that aren't affected negatively, I would say, because people are buying like crazy. There's more people looking for houses than there is houses on the market. Certainly around my area, in most of Scotland, I would say. So for that type of way, no, I'm really fortunate to have a business that actually kept going through COVID. I'm still able to operate. I'm still able to go to places and show people viewings. But I want to meet face to face or anything. You have to make sure that you're giving them what they need to. I switched to virtual viewings and also virtual appraisals as well. I say appraisals not because I like Americanisms. I still call a film, not a movie. I say appraisal because I'm not a certified surveyor. So when I say appraisal, I'm not going to somebody's house and saying, this is how much your house is worth. I would say how much I would put it on the market at to gain the most interest. So the appraisal. We do virtual appraisal. That's probably the biggest difference I could probably see during COVID, lockdown to not lockdown.
Yeah. In regards to your favorite platform that you use to do sales and connect with people, do you use Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn? What do you use?
I've completely missed the Instagram train. I'm not on Instagram, but LinkedIn for me, because it's more accepted just to reach out to people on LinkedIn. So I love speaking to people. I love meeting new people and connecting with people. LinkedIn seems to be the place where I can do that. If you start adding people on Facebook that you've not spoke to before or you don't really know, it can come across a bit, weird. Also very pitchy or whatever. But what I love about LinkedIn is you get a chance to hear about what other people's doing, their business. I love to send messages to people saying, look, how can I help you in your business? Is there anything I can do? What type of client are you looking for? Check out what they do, make sure it's good. Then if it is, get a wee chat with them. I love to be able to refer people to people. So LinkedIn works for me, ideal for that.
Yeah.
You know what? I should post more than I post. I should put up more content. But I'm always in the background on LinkedIn chatting with people, speak to 10 people a day, every day.
There's so many platforms out there, and there's so many different ways that you can connect with people. And it's like, it is hard sometimes being a one-man show. For myself, I find that difficult sometimes to be across everything. So much information out there. There's so much things that you can be doing. And I've got another business as well, and it can be difficult. And again, that's why we're running this, is to try and, help people with that. And it's even a learning curve for myself, to get the information. And it's like, right, I should be doing this. I should be scheduling posts, or I should be doing this. Like, I just learned about Clubhouse. Have you heard about Clubhouse?
I've heard about it, but
Yeah.
I'm staying back. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I only just found out about it yesterday. I was speaking to Hop, Skip, Fly, which is a marketing company. And Claire was telling me all about it. It's only available on the iPhone at the moment, but it's going to be available on Android eventually. But you can create your own room, and then you can basically have people join, and then you can give them information. And it's all audio based. Nothing is recorded. And so, yeah, again, I'm kind of like yourself. I'm kind of stepping back just to see how it goes. But yeah, it can be really overwhelming as a business, like all these things going on. What should I be dipping my toes in? What should I be connecting with people? So no, absolutely. I was just going to say, what's the plan for David over the next 2 years? What's your game plan?
If you asked me this when I first started this business a couple of months ago, I would say I want to change the way estate agencies done in the UK. That was my goal, right? Next 2 years, I want to change the way people decide who their agent is, what agent to choose. Because I feel that there's a lack of really good service and good results out there. So nothing major ambitious. Just let people know that, you know what, there's a better service out there for you if you want to sell your house. For the next 2 years, I'll be 100% focused on this business, getting it out. I'm not trying to create a sausage factory here, so that I can still give the level of service I'm wanting. I've very few clients a month that fit my business model. So I'm not trying to go out there on billboards, on the TV, try to turn into a national chain. Nothing like that. I want to serve my local community. I want to serve my people, my friends and family, their connections. And so for the next 2 years, I just want to do what I'm going to do and let word spread. And hopefully people will start to think differently in choosing their agent. They will not so much go for an agent just because they've undercut 4 times, or because other houses to sell in the window and things like that. I think it's really important if you're going to be selling your biggest asset, what I want people to know is somebody dedicated personally just to doing that, and not having loads of other ones to do, to focus on you as a client. That's what I want people to start to think in terms of that. Who's going to make me the most money? Who's going to answer all my calls? Who's going to no need chased up? Yeah, that's what I want to be known for in the next kind of 2 years and carve out. Also, I wouldn't mind putting on 4 stone, John. You know what I mean? And get some muscle on, that'd be all right as well.
That's good. Well, actually, you can see Alan Strachan at Gym 55, mate. He's done wonders for me.
Yeah, I seen that. Do you know what the trouble with that is? I know what the answer is. Eat more. And I try. I really try, but I like junk food, John. I like my pizzas and curries and things like that. So he'll just tell me what I need to be doing, and then I'll have to admit, no, I'm the problem. It's not that I can't put weight on and things like that. So, but I seen Alan's thing. That was great.
That you like
really
that?
Good.
Yeah, he's good value.
Yeah,
so in regards to, I've been asking a few people this, have you got any podcasts that you listen to or books that you've been reading lately that you get a lot from and that you implement into your business?
I might be a wee bit of an anomaly here. I don't listen to podcasts or anything like that. The way I look at things is, see, if I read a book, everything I'm reading, what I do is I sit for an hour in the morning, right? With homeschooling now, it's a bit different. I sit in the morning with an hour. Half an hour I do my business study, and the other half an hour I do my personal study. Usually audiobooks, I just respond better to them. So if it's business, I've got 4 or 5 books that I just, over the years, just continuously read. And I'll say, how does that apply to me? How do I take action today, this week, when I'm doing my planning for next week? How can I take what that guy's saying and make it benefit me? So I try not to get, I try to make sure that I'm applying all the principles in what I'm reading. So the book that really changed my mindset I just stumbled on it completely accidentally. It was a godsend. I found it was Think and Grow Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Old classic, but a lot of these self-help books and personal growth books come from that, which I've found as well. Absolutely swear by it. Never get tired of it. And every few months or every year, something else will jump out at me that I have read 100 times, but it just speaks me different. When I excuse me, when I was listening to podcasts, there was one from Dan Pena. I think it was called something. I can't remember what it was called, but it was Dan Pena's podcast, and it was just this guy hurling absolute abuse at his mentees for an hour. And but a lot of good questions were getting asked as well at the same time. I really liked that. That gave me a lot of insight into how bigger business owners may think, what decisions they made there. I wish I can remember the name of it for you. But Think and Grow Rich, great book. I'm reading that now. And the one thing is just about, do you know the one thing? If you read
No,
that?
I haven't read that one, no.
No. Principle that it teaches us basically, if you've got a goal to achieve, what's the one thing you can do this week, today, that by doing it, you get closer to your goal? That's it. Just about breaking stuff down into steps.
Right, right.
And that helped me with, if I had something huge to achieve, break it down into steps, then break these steps up into my schedule. There you go. Every day you're going towards your goal. So
yeah, absolutely.
So the one thing in Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, cool. It's a bit of a sideways question. Work and your life. You obviously got a wee family. How do you balance that? How does that work? Do you have certain days that you spend with your family, or how do you work around that and making sure that you've got that right balance?
So I don't. I struggle, right? So
Yeah.
I do my best. I'm fortunate to have a partner who shares my ambition.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when I break my days up, I'll say I work between 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock, say, right? And I'm just doing work. But if I'm in the house working, if my daughter comes in, if something happens, she comes in for 5 minutes, I've learned to not send her away, nothing. Pick her up, acknowledge her. Great, Daddy's still working. I'll come and see you at lunch, or I'll come see you when I'm done. That. The other thing is, to give you an idea of what my life is like, right before I started this real estate agency up, because my partner had her online business, we would get a babysitter, right? So my mum would watch my wee one on a Friday night or Saturday night. We wouldn't go out to the town, we wouldn't get dressed up and go out, we wouldn't go out for dinner. We would sit, I would sit with my notebook and my laptop, she would sit right beside me with her notebook and her laptop, and we'd be up to 4 in the morning.
Wow.
Just working, like planning, doing stuff like that. So I'm really lucky that I don't have to choose between one or the other.
Yeah.
It's more so with being a dad, I have to switch off, and I find it really difficult still. If my head's in business mode or whatever, and then I have to go straight into playing with some dolls in a big frozen house. I find it difficult still to do that. I've not mastered it yet, so I'm still learning with that.
It is a difficult one.
That, John,
yeah. It's like I'm the same. Like I've got a 2-year-old, Autumn, and it's the same thing. I can have an open office here, but she'll come in and wants to play or whatever else. But it's so difficult, isn't it? Like because you really do want to play with them and do things. But yeah, I think that it's an ongoing thing, isn't it? You're forever feeling your way through it and trying to, make it, what it is, which is, to be a dad, to be a family man, and also your work as well. It can be really difficult at times.
Yeah, I think it's important as well, just I plan everything. I mean, everything is planned. Sometimes, like I said to you last time, sometimes things happen that you just can't plan for. Yeah. But if you've got a wee 20% buffer with time in your day, then you can catch up with stuff later on. One of the things it's still important to plan is time with my fiance, time with my child. So that stuff doesn't sound great, but I mean, it does get planned in. It's in my schedule. Bath time for Elle is 6:30. Once Elle's sleeping, it's quality time with Lana. You know what I mean? And sometimes things just happen, or things get a bit busier than usual and things like that. But it's always important to kind of plan that and make sure, right, time blocks things out as well. So if I'm doing something, I'll be doing that. I don't answer emails, I don't answer phone calls. Same thing, if you're sitting watching a film with some munchies or whatever, phone's not getting looked at.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to get to that, John. I don't know if anybody listening is going to relate, but when I was starting out and starting in my business, I could not sit and watch a film for probably a good year. Wait, I just couldn't do it. Try to sit down, stare at the TV, because I don't really watch TV anyway. But I was getting sore stomachs, I was getting knots in my stomach when I was trying to sit and relax and watch TV because there was just so much to be done. And I wanted to be working on that. And I was, like I say, I was lucky. Lana just said to us, look, if you can't do it, then don't be sitting trying to force yourself. So a good year, I couldn't relax, couldn't sit and watch TV. And I'm so glad it's not like that anymore, because I eventually was close to a crash and burn back then as well. So it's really, really important to watch out for these things too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure that you're getting the downtime. So easy to ignore yourself as well.
Yeah.
So easy, if you need some exercise, it's so easy to I'll leave the exercise and I'll get this work done. You can only sustain that for so long.
Mm-hmm. I really appreciate you talking to me today, David, and giving me an insight into your life and with your business and everything else. And we'll be looking at selling probably in the next year, our place here. So I'll definitely be giving you a call. You've convinced me, mate. You know, that personal touch that you're talking about, you know, that's exactly what, you know, I would like for, you know, in someone who's going to sell my home. So no, I really appreciate your time today. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe and like below. And yeah, thanks very much, David, for your time again. And we look forward to hearing, and hearing from you in the future.
Great. Thanks, man.
Thank you.